Questions you may
Nicola,
have.
the growth forecasts in the monetary policy statement being downgraded since August from 3.4% next year to 2.4%, and the following year from 3.1 to 2.2, I think it was. How worrying is that?
Look, obviously there's a couple of things going on there. One is there are global factors, but part of that is also that a range of economists following COVID overestimated how enduring the productivity bounce back would be. And what you've seen is that the hangover from the big spending party during COVID has lasted longer and been deeper than had been forecast. Things are getting better.
Given those comments then, does that mean that you're throwing out the expected surplus in 2027-28?
Well, look, the government's job is obviously to control our discretionary spending decisions, and we have been very focused in government on getting down that spending track so that New Zealand can have more sustainable finances. But when the revenue forecasts come down, that does make the path to surplus more challenging.
Big picture. You were a vociferous critic of Grant Robertson's economic management. In his 6 years as finance minister, how many of Grant Robertson's budget deficits were greater than yours?
I don't have an answer to your question, Jack.
I think it's either 0 or 1, depending on how you treat COVID. Campaign, you're borrowing $12 billion on top of the borrowing and debt that was already forecast. Do you accept that the burden of paying for tax cuts and the deficit in your budget today, everything in your budget today, is going to fall on future generations of taxpayers?
We are going to be getting the debt down from 27-28. And so what that means...
Do you accept that point, though?
Yes, if we didn't start paying that debt down, that would be absolutely right.
But it's future generations, right, that are going to have to pay for this, whether through increased revenue, increased taxes, or whether through further cuts to services.
Well, I think from 27-28, we are planning to be in surplus.
Did you overpromise and now are you under-delivering? Overpromise before the election, just in terms of the fact that interest rates were always rising aggressively. There was always a very high chance that GDP growth would underperform.
No.
There's the consequence of that, though, is that economic activity is more sluggish than it otherwise would be, and that's what's helped bring inflation.
Oh, look, I just reject that characterisation.
He's been quite critical of your tax. Winston Peters has been quite critical of your tax cut package, saying that he didn't agree with it, that he thought it was unaffordable, it did nothing to impact growth, and all it really did was mask the economic situation that New Zealand was in. What do you say to that?
Well, I disagree. I mean, the reality is we did tax relief for low and middle income working New Zealanders by adjusting tax thresholds the first time in 14 years.
Back to Peter's comments, I mean, he also said that, you know, not only was the economic situation not rightly known, that National didn't know it in advance of the election, and you know, and made it.
Oh, I love Winston, but rest assured, we know.